Good morning, fellow Lions. Now, many of you have heard this one before, I think.
Yeah.
But there might be some here who haven't. So is the mic on? Health and safety. Some of you are going, oh no, not again. But it is a very important topic, and risk assessments are very important as well. Thank you to all the clubs who sent in their statements of intent. When I walked in this morning, we had 9 clubs who have not put in their statements of intent. It's now 8. So we're over 90%. So let's get up to the 100th. The district government would be absolutely delighted to go to the next council meeting and say, I've got 100%. So please, those many clubs, get them in. Right. Why do we have to have the risk assessments? I've been instructed to look at it. Why do we have them? Why is it necessary? We're all part of the United Kingdom. We all have to follow the law. So the first real reason is legal. If we don't do risk assessments and something untoward happens, we are in trouble. The club is in trouble, their trustees are in trouble, and the organisation is in trouble. So we must try and avoid that. Accidents do happen, unfortunately. There's a financial reason. If something untoward happens and you're sued, then there is a monetary issue there, and it does happen, and it has happened in the past. It happened to a club in W quite a few years ago. It cost them £250,000. And there's the moral reasons. I mentioned the reputation of Lions. What's going to go on the press? Lions kill a child at a fireworks display. Is that the sort of headline we want? No, we do not, because that would go a long way to kill us. So risk assessments are very important to prevent those sort of things. They do happen. Various different types of hazards, some of which are applicable to us, some are not, depending what you're doing. But we've just been mentioning the sleigh. So you've got mechanical things that can happen. People can fall off the sleigh, they can get run over, they can break down. You've got physical hazards, biological. I wouldn't think many clubs are dealing with those sort of things, but there is. In the environment and organisation, all sorts of things to think of. Bear in mind, a lot of the activities you do, you've done them before. So hopefully you've already got a risk assessment. You're not going for a blank piece of paper. If you're doing something new, it's a blank piece of paper. So I've gone over that. Very important to do a risk assessment. And there is lots of help available. I can help. I've got colleagues better qualified than me, and I hasten to add I'm not a health and safety expert. So I've got colleagues in other districts who are health and safety qualified, and of course there may be health and safety qualified people in this room. Hazards. There's a hazard. Stairs. They're a hazard, more so than others, especially if you've got a cable go across it. Those are the sort of things you think, well, how stupid is that? But it happens. What are things? Dynamic risks. Life is unpredictable. You can be carrying out an event that you've done year in, year out, and nothing's ever happened, then suddenly something untoward happens. You've got to be able to deal with it. You've got to think. So risk assessment is not just doing a piece of paper before the event. It's doing it in your head whilst you're at the event. Don't forget, we all do risk assessments every day. We've all come here by car. No, you haven't written it down, but you've done a risk assessment in your mind. I better stop at the red traffic lights. I better give way at roundabouts. It's all the same sort of thing. So you'll be pleased to know this is a very abridged version. So dynamic risks. Keep your eyes open. What's going on around you? Stop people doing things that they shouldn't. If you've got a generator, for instance, make sure the only people who can operate that generator are those who are qualified to do it. Don't allow somebody else to go there. If you've got hot liquids around because you're serving tea and coffee, make sure only the people who are supposed to be doing that job are there. You don't want other people causing an accident. 5 steps to identify. Identify the hazards, which is largely common sense. Assess what could happen. Cable, as you see here, there's tape on the joins of the carpet, tape here over wires. And control. If you think something can be changed to improve things, do it. Record your findings. Very important to record your findings. And then review. After the event is over, just look at what you've done and at what happened. Do things need changing? If so, why? And then keep that risk assessment. It can come out next year. And when the next year comes along, maybe a new group of people are actually doing that event. They can look at what happened in the past. They can see what previous committees have done. Say, oh, right, we better not do that. We won't know because this is what they experienced. So learn from the experience and keep it going. Also, when you do a risk assessment, brief the team that are working. They may come up and say, well, have you thought about such and such and so and so? And if you're not confident about doing a risk assessment, have a group of people to do it. More heads. Because we're not experts. We're not expected to be experts. We are a charitable organisation. That's how we are treated. And that's how the insurers will expect us to be. So that's the controls. You might have personal protection. Gloves for catering, for instance. Admin controls, which is like the risk assessment, what are you going to do where and what's got to be where and when. Engineering. Substitution important. If something you think is too dangerous, then substitute it. If you can't, then you may have to consider, do I carry on with the project? Those are the 5 steps: recording your findings and everything that you do along the way. It's just re-emphasising. The monitor review is just as important as doing the risk assessment. When you've identified a hazard, what do you do first? Which do you deal with first? Can everybody give me an answer? Yes, get rid of it. Most dangerous one. The one that's maybe, hopefully, you're not doing anything that's going to threaten life. But if there is, get rid of it. If you can't get rid of it, don't do it. So you deal with the most harm and most likely, and a lot of people. I'll just give you a quick instance outside work. If anybody do work in the gas industry, then you'll know this. I worked for a short time in Secondment to Transco. They're the gas pipeline people, and when they attend gas leaks, they assess where it is. If it's near a school, for instance, they've got to be there within an hour because of the possible cause of life, loss of life. If it's in the middle of a field, there's less of a danger. So that's the sort of thing that they go through. Very quickly, these are all on the website. If you're up in the top right-hand corner, when you were making your assessment of the likelihood and consequence, then please stop. It's probably unlikely you're in the bottom left-hand corner because there's probably something there that caused the cause. But if you're in this sort of monitor area, which I would reckon most activities are, then do as it says, monitor the activity. That's not very easy to read, I don't think, from out there, so I think I'll skip that, because that re-emphasises what I just said. Again, very quick example of types of activity. Again, I hate pushing people towards the website because I know time is pressing. And those, again, will re-emphasise what I've been talking about. That is a suggested worksheet for a risk assessment. That is the Institute of Safety and Health. But you can actually, I've not seen one yet, but I'm going to be seeing one on Wednesday, you can actually download an app. We're all ruled by apps nowadays. Well, here's another one. I don't know which one it is, and I believe there may be a license fee, so clubs may not wish to do that, but who knows? I will investigate whether a district can buy the license and be available for the district. I will investigate that one. But that is designed, you come up with your ideas. This is high winds for a gazebo. We pulled the risk down because we put more experienced people or more people on the job. Pull it down. Always make sure, whatever task you've got, somebody is in charge. Hopefully somebody who knows what they're doing. Briefing volunteers, I think, is very important. So the volunteers know exactly what it is they're expected to do, whether they be Lions or not Lions. They are covered by insurance for Lions while they're doing Lions activities, whether they're members or not. And again, ask for feedback. Feedback, very important. Talked about the statements of intent, and thank you to all the clubs who have sent them in. The reason why we've pressed this so much, it signifies that you agree with the multiple district policy on health and safety. And if something untoward were to happen, and the health and safety executive came in, and if they do come in, I am advised that they come in with the attitude that you are guilty, so you've got to prove otherwise. If they can't determine that you have actually agreed to the MD policy to begin with, then you're not starting in a very good place. So that is the reason why we are really, really pushing this very, very hard. And also, the insurance company will not look on you very kindly, so they may not pay out. Then you're in the real mess, possibly. So it's very important. Do the following activities need to, well, we'll go on to that later. Have I gained my 2 minutes?
Yes, please. If I talk to your phone.
All right, okay, right. Right, these will be emphasised later on, but there are some pictures now, whether you need a risk assessment or not. What do you reckon? Why? We've got wind, security, anything else? Yeah, lifting.
Suitable footwear.
Suitable footwear. We can go to town on that, can't we? And that's a familiar picture. Familiar picture that most clubs do at some point or another. That one.
Yes. Yes.
Consensus is yes. Food handling. Allergies was mentioned. Again, there's a list of allergies on the website, and it's long. So my suggestion would be, if you're going to cater, perhaps consider bringing somebody in to do it for you, unless you've got an expert who does it, knows what they're doing. I'm not sure many clubs do this, but anyway. That one. Washing up. Hot water. Well, I hope it's hot water. So, some of those are everyday sort of pictures that many clubs do. We need a risk assessment. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Litter picking. Do you need a risk assessment of litter picking? What sort of hazards? What sort of hazards? That's true, isn't it? Yeah. And other unsavoury items, shall we say? Yeah. So I think I've covered quite a few things that clubs ordinarily do. Litter picking was mentioned this morning. I thought that was just to get out and doing the gardening. That one. Have we done a risk assessment for the bake-off?
She said yes.
Say yes, please. Yes. Yeah, that was one thing that Martin just mentioned. It was insisted as the entry, all the ingredients were recorded so that we take account of allergies. That one.
Yes.
Any particular reason for that one? Liquids, wires, just general clutter. Lots of people milling around. So you've got the control of the stall. Food handling, I suspect it's not very hygienic. There's a gas cylinder down there. It's something that perhaps we've all done, not thinking. But, and you'll be pleased to hear that we've finished the abridged version.